ATV.com, I'm Casey Cordero, and today I have the pleasure of reviewing this Polaris RZR XP Turbo S Velocity Edition. Now this is an all-new machine that was released early in 2019. This is the two-seat version, obviously, and this thing is just absolutely a beast out here in the Arizona desert. It's a perfect proving grounds to test the 72-inch wide width of this machine. We got the 3.0 Walker Evans Velocity shocks in the rear, 2.5s in the front. We got 168 turbocharged horsepower coming out of this vehicle. I mean, this thing is the real deal, and it's got an all-new interior. So why do you say let's jump in and check her out? Why don't we? Let's go.
All right, so jumping into this beast of a UTV here. This thing, we got in a nice little rock crawl section here, and man, it just rewards. Those 32-inch tires just go, great rollover resistance. They just go over everything. Like, it's just not even there. Allows you to really utilize the four-wheel drive system and that new huge front differential and the low gear to its maximum capacity. That whole powertrain package really couples together to just let you crawl up the steepest climbs, the gnarliest rocks. I mean, there's a reason this vehicle won King of the Hammers this year with Mitch Guthrie Jr. I mean, he obviously is a phenomenal driver, but man, there's something to be said about this Velocity Edition and just how well the shock package and everything works together with it in just a very cohesive and wonderful way. Especially when you couple it with that 168 horsepower out of the turbocharged engine, man. You can just light it up. Woo! Man. I love the traction of the tires and this hard-packed desert terrain. The only place that they're not that great is in the sand, actually. They don't have quite the open tread pattern that it needs to be great there. But, you know, when you couple them with the, really, I'm going to say it's pretty darn perfect. The clutching in the transmission, you know, when you couple that with the engine performance, and that drive line with that new front differential, and it really just does well in all kinds of different terrains and stuff. But really, it does really well in the open desert. I mean, that's what this vehicle is made for. It's sprung real stiff to make sure that you can fly over the big bumps as fast as you want. You can take the big hits like they're not even there. You have it pretty much the softest setting for the compression dampening, which are controlled via compression clickers on the piggyback shocks themselves. And I mean, even the softest, we cannot get this machine to bottom out. Like, it just has a pretty stiff spring setup on it. So you're going through the washboard and everything, and if you're not going 30 miles an hour, man, it is rough. But if you're going over that, well, you don't even feel it. So just got to get used to going fast, I guess, in that regard. But honestly, we do like days when we just go slow and cruise through the desert. So we do wish that the ring setup was a little bit softer for those times and going actually slower, because you're coming out of corners and stuff, it's just really rough. And it shouldn't be so rough, but fortunately, it is what it is. So it needs a little bit of shock tuning right out of the package. You could really send it to Walker Evans. You could get a retune there, and it would just really make this vehicle even come alive even more. Now, the chassis in this thing is really, I personally think, one of the best parts of this entire Velocity Edition, man. It's got a little bit more of a compact wheelbase than competitors, and with that, it's got more ground clearance at 16 inches, and man, it just handles well with the 72-inch wide width. The power steering is super, super quick. It turns on a dime. Now, granted, the turning radius is a bit more because of the width, but it just handles really, really well. You can hang the back end out, apply the power to the ground, put the throttle to the floor, and man, it just really is fun to drive. Allows you to make quick corrections out of the front. Man, it's just fun. Really, it's just a blast. And I think that's the beauty of the Velocity, too, is that it's just fun to drive. It's the car out of the Turbo S lineup that is the most customizable, too. It really just because it doesn't have ride command, because it doesn't have the electronic shocks, it allows you to make it your own a little bit better. You know, and if you're going to use it for racing or long distance adventures, you know, you can tailor it to what you want to do better than the other Turbo S that's on the market. Plus, you save almost $3,000, which is a big deal. That's a lot of spare parts or extra parts, accessories, that kind of stuff for it. In case you hadn't noticed, there's that washboard that's pretty rough right there. Anyways, it just makes it really able to be your own. Now, interior-wise, there's lots of storage. They've really refined the interior. The seats are still not the best in the industry, man. They need to refine these seats a little bit more. But otherwise, there's a ton of storage. The function of the instrument cluster is right where you want it in the front, and everything else is pretty much dialed in. So we're looking forward to more seat time. And
So wrapping up, coming back from the ride, this 2019 RZR XP Turbo S Velocity Edition, man, it is just a great machine for a variety of terrains. If you're looking to go fast in the desert, if you're looking for the ultimate sand dune UTV, rock crawler, anything like in those terrains, this vehicle does it really well right out of the box. It is set up for that stuff. Now, granted, there's a couple little areas that it misses. One of those is in, you know, the spring setup on the shocks. Walker Evans, these Velocity Series shocks are a great shock right out of the box. Just needs a little bit fine tuning with the spring package and stuff to really make it compliant over the washboard roads and more of the slower speed stuff that you would encounter. Otherwise, the shock and the bodies and stuff are really, really good right from the factory. Obviously, the motor and transmission package, coupled with that new front differential and the driveline upgrades, I mean, this thing doesn't rattle at all. It is super, super powerful. It just puts a smile on your face every time you stomp the throttle. Obviously, I want to go do that again right now, but it is just it's a great fun to be able to do that stuff in. Cargo box is great in the back too. I think that's one thing that separates this vehicle too, is that it's got great sides on the cargo box, plenty of capacity for all of your stuff, which is awesome there too. You can see the updated ROPS profile, which is great as well. I really like the fact that it makes you feel more secure when you're in the vehicle. And also, while the interior is great, it's got a ton of storage and everything, I really like the updated dash that's in this XP Turbo S, and obviously this Velocity Edition. It really could use the lower quarter doors so you don't get rocks on the inside all the time, and could use some updated seats. I think that's one of the biggest things that I would really do first and foremost if I were to buy one of these Velocities, is to upgrade the springs, upgrade the seats, and put lower quarter doors on there, and man, you'd have one heck of a vehicle, because you've already got 32-inch tires, you've already got so much suspension travel, you've already got 16 inches of ground clearance. Overall, the stock package is really great on this Turbo S Velocity Edition, and I encourage you guys to go out to your local dealer, go check them out. They offer 2- and 4-seat versions of this vehicle, and both of them, like I said, out of the factory, it's pretty much a delight to drive in a lot of different situations. So we look forward to seeing you on the trail. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you out there. Thanks.